Alright, getting started now. 10 arrows and sank, $20 at Link's house.
So Link's house wins.
Yeah, I guess. I did not see that map check.
It was Reddit Hera and Pendant and CERN.
Alright. So we got Frostwares and Sailor Net both heading up to Uncle. Did Frostwares not bring the sign?
No, he neglected to bring the sign with him. It was 20 rupees from the tree pole. Very nice tree pole. Definitely have enough rupees to buy some bombs. Of course, Goomba and Coxlight just using a different tree for the exact same result.
Yeah. And another 20 rupees from the uncle. And, ooh, a sword. And, oh, there's a fire rod.
All right, off to a fantastic start here.
So this is one of those seeds where checking Lumberjack early is going to pay off.
So Sailor Nap actually taking that sword and saying, let's do front of escape.
Yeah, I love this play. I mean, it's you might as well route it in now while you're there.
Yeah, it takes something like 30 seconds extra to re-walk to the front of Hyrule Castle.
And there's an ether coin in the Lost Woods. And a single green rupee in the drop down. Froster is also checking Lumberjack, so currently Sailor Nap the only one without that information of the fire rod.
Yeah, it's
Goomba.
not.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying it's not necessarily the best thing in the world to know right away that Aga's required. Like most often it ends up not mattering at all because like somebody else just gets the boots and then checks it with the boots checks, and nothing is really gained or lost.
Yeah, that's true. But it can be occasionally helpful. I had a seed where the boots were in the front of Turtle Rock, so if you knew that your item was on Lumberjack, you just noped out, went straight to Aga. If you didn't know that, you ended up full clearing the rest of Turtle Rock.
So Goomba and Cox come into Blindside Out without buying bombs first, despite getting all those rupees. Neither one getting punished, though, finding 3 bombs there at that far right chest.
Yeah, we also had a glove in there. And just a map in Zelda Cell, so Front of Escape not really paying out.
Yeah, that's the danger of doing the Front of Escape first, is if the map is in that chest in particular, you probably could have skipped it.
Goomba first one into the well, Coxa right behind. Ooh, there's a hammer. And Sailor Nap not checking Lumberjack. So...
yeah, it really just comes down to where the boots are.
Yeah. Just looking for that Moon Pearl now for Dark World access. Another $20 in the Chicken Hut. Goomba now buying bombs.
Yeah, definitely going to want some bombs moving forward here.
And just a heart piece in the tavern.
So not the worst, or not the worst Kakariko we've ever seen. Gloves and a hammer. It's nice.
Yeah. Ooh, that was 300 bucks on the library. Too bad they don't have the boots to get that. And just a heart piece on the race game. Oh, there was another 300 in the back of blind, so that's where they got all this money.
Looks like you've headed for back of escape now.
Yeah, it makes sense. Generally, whenever you get gloves, you want to check back of escape as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's one of those few locations that can't really be paired with anything else. So if you don't do it right away, it's just an orphan location.
Flute. And a small key. Goomba could check Dark Cross, but not going to do that for now.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
kind of
hard.
a pain to do that with the hammer.
Yeah.
But because we know where that map is, it does confirm that there is an item in the Dark Cross.
Yeah. Looks like Coxla is now going to do front of escape. Sailor Nap freeing the chicken. And Goomba now heading off to activate that flute. So Coxla has decided to do front of escape before back of escape. I don't really like this play.
Well, you said earlier you liked it.
Yeah, but that was different.
What's the difference?
Didn't have the gloves. Alright, Frostware is now heading down. Again, doing these checks before checking back of escape, this really is going to hurt once they find the flute there.
I see it as like two halves of the same coin, you know? Like if you do front of escape first, your hope is to skip Dark Cross. And if you do back of escape first, then your hope is to skip Zelda's Cell. In this particular save, back first would have been ideal. But you'd still have to like do Dark Cross in the dark. And there's our Dark World access for Goomba.
Yeah, so we'll see. They'll check Mini Moldorm Cave for sure, but it's entirely possible he might just go straight to the Dark World after this.
It's a trap. It's probably not a trap, but it could be a trap.
So Goomba, without that sword, having to use bombs here to take care of the Moldorms. And no problem. Oh no, Frostware is taking a death. Entered Mini Moldorm Cave with just one heart, so it's kind of can be a little tricky there. And there's a mirror. Frostware is now going to check back of escape. And looks like Sailor Nep heading to Dark Cross. Having a little bit of trouble finding that chest, and it's down to half a. And Goomba doing that Dark World map check. That was a green pendant at Pod, and I think the other pendant was Swamp.
And there's a red crystal at Eastern. Well, I have no idea if he got the chest, but maybe. He didn't die. I know that much.
Alright, here's our check of Hype Cave now. Heart container. Heroes. Bottle of red goo. Another sword. And a heart piece. So, not the most Hype Cave ever, but a couple of nice items.
Sword's pretty nice for Goomba not having been to Front of Escape yet. And it's unlikely he's going to go there anytime soon.
Yeah. So they're now activating the flute as well as Frostwares. So one thing. Oh, okay. We got Ice Palace marked on one tracker and Swamp on the other. So I think it was Swamp, but we'll see.
I'm sure somebody will do another map check for us. Oh, look, the flippers.
So we do know that Fire Rod is definitely required. So we will be seeing Aga from all the runners today, but they'll probably hold off on it till they find the boots. Froster is opting to enter the Dark World here from the Village of Outcast portal. I prefer to go in through Hype Cave normally, just because that's a bunch of quick checks you can get out of the way.
And not super crazy either way. Especially since he already has a sword, so like blind's a lot simpler.
That's true. Goomba heading over to the dig game now, and Sailor Nep actually going up to the mountain just to check the old man. It's fairly common play. It's just one quick check, and you get a save point out of it, and you also get, in this case, the Quake Medallion. So one thing I noticed about this seed is Eastern Palace and Pod are both Bowlock dungeons are both pendants.
Yay!
So if any of these players happens to know the Mimic clip, they may not have to find the bow at all. And there's our last medallion on Sick Kid.
Of course, with V31, we have 2 bows now, so the odds of not running into a bow at some point is pretty low.
Yeah, for sure. Frostware is now heading into Thieves Town. So Frostware's, having died in Mini Moldarm Cave and not gone back, is in the Dark World without that mirror. And that means they're going to be isolating some checks.
That's pretty rough. And assuming we find something nice, like the mitts or something, like when are you going back to Mini Moldarm Cave?
Yeah, so let's hope he doesn't put it off for too long. But
Doing
meanwhile,
Front of Skull Woods, yeah. It's weird, right? That he'd do Front of Skull Woods, but like he would nope out of like doing Ice Rock Cave or something.
yeah. Maybe he figures, like, with the early Dark World access, he wants to just be aggressive, head straight for the Dark World. Sailor Nep actually doing some fake flipper checks. This makes sense. You got Zora money. Apparently we had a second sword in Thieves Town. I missed that.
Not all the swords.
Ooh, Froster's seeing a death. Thieves Town is quite rough with low hearts and green mail. Oh, that is a hook shot on Zora's ledge.
The punish.
So Goomba found, I believe, 10 arrows.
Yeah, just the one item, I think.
In Cisco Woods, and Zora just having the bug net. Sailor Nep doesn't want that. No, I'd feel like I'd pick up the bug net if it's just sitting right there. But, you know, if you save 2 seconds on it, then fine.
sometimes it's nice to have the bug net or like the booms and stuff, like items that don't do anything, just for the menuing.
Yeah. Goomba checking bumper ledge, opting not to check graveyard ledge. It is a very slow check. So, and maybe you can route it in later with King's Tomb or something. So I can understand this. Yeah.
It's even slower than normal because we don't have boots or mitts, so you have to like go the super long way through the graveyard.
And Cock's actually coming up to Spectacle Rock.
No hints. There's no hints. Coxlet. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, with no hints, you want to just check the item first because it's a little faster. But we're just going to dive right in, and it's just 10 arrows. And I'm not sure why Cox is setting up a bomb jump here. Oh wait, we have the mirror, never mind. Now I understand. And does not get the bomb jump, unfortunately. Goomba, was that an intentional death? I wasn't looking.
Probably. No, he was out in the overworld. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he took that death, but
I think it must have been a
definitely.
Poe or something on his way to Thieves' Town.
So he's going to go up to the mountain instead.
Lots of unintentional deaths so far this season.
Yeah, it's not giving us a ton of health to work with. Sailor Nap has the most in 6 hearts. Coxel opting to grab that heart piece. Can't blame them. And we're going to check out...
I'd love to see Goomba do like the catfish flipper route. It is really uncommon to have mirror flippers hammer like this and not having already done any of those checks, and you can do this really nice efficient route from Hype Cave towards Catfish and get all the flipper checks on the way.
Yep. And we are not firelocked in Hera. And Frostware is checking a pyramid ledge, just 10 arrows. Sailor Nap actually going to head over and check Sahasrala's hut.
Another unintentional death on the Frostwares in front of the pyramid. I'm starting to feel bad. Dying on the overworld never feels good for anybody.
There is the Cane of Samaria. So that doesn't open anything now, but it's good to have.
Yeah, it can definitely be a huge pickup, say, if like both of our bows are locked behind the cane. Typically, if you don't do like the Sahasrala check really early, you wait until you have a bow before you ever think about going over there.
Yeah, and there's our lamp in the Hera Compass chest. And compass in the big chest. And Sailor Nap also checking out the hobo. And he gives us a fire shield.
And the big ticket item with these flippers, though, is going to be that hook shot. Which doesn't give us anything extra in logic on the mountain, but hey, Swamp Palace, right?
Yeah, we have a full clearable swamp right now.
Caterpie, what are you doing? Come here!
Yeah, Moldon just does not want to cooperate sometimes, and Cox like taking a fall. Sailor Nap going to pick up that hook shot. And, ooh, Coxla taking another fall as Goomba takes care of Moldorm. Getting that key. I did not see. Did we get both items in Hera?
I don't think we did.
I know we got the lamp, so we can do the basement if we want. And Goomba's going to go for it.
I can't wrap my head around Goomba. Like, it seems so arbitrary, right? Like Fresco Woods is like a slightly less efficient check. Air Basement's a really inefficient check. But why not also have done like Ice Heart Cave and a Genus Cave with your flute?
Yeah, I don't know. My only thought is maybe because he just got the lamp, so he figured it unlocked this place, so it's got a higher probability than normal, but who really knows?
I don't even think we've seen Ice Heart Cave, have we? Yeah, somebody did it.
Someone did it, yeah. I don't think there was anything there. Sailor Net, meanwhile, checking out Paradox Cave. And Hair Basement, just 50 bucks there. And there's Titan's Mitts and Paradox, the only thing of value in that cave.
Oh, Sailor Nip gonna be super rewarded for getting that hookshot first, though. Dark Death Mountain gonna be able to do in one fell swoop.
Yep.
You know, except for Turtle Rock and probably Spike Cave and Ether Tablet. But all that stuff, you know, we'll just come back for it later.
Yeah, Sailor Nip actually could dive Turtle Rock, assuming it's not Bombos. But knowing the Fire Rod is not in Turtle Rock, although the boots could be in Turtle Rock, and it is Bombos, so Sailor Nip not going to be able to head in there just yet.
I'm sure he's a little glad to see that right now. All roads lead to the mountain. Is Goomba skipping Spiral Cave? Or did he do it? I missed it. I think he might have done it. I don't know. It's hard to watch all four at once.
Yeah.
He did do Spiral. Okay.
Yeah. So Super Brona Cave, nothing. Let's see what's in Hookshot Cave. There's another bottle. And a bow.
Very nice item to find. Except, you know, they're both pendants, so that sucks.
And Sailor Nep forgetting that they hadn't checked the floating island, just a heart piece there. And is now heading over to Hera to we'll get that lamp.
I feel like Cox is making his life harder than it needs to be. trying to kill as many moldarms with swipes like that.
Um,
Alright. Where are you going, Goomba? We're flying away!
looks like Goomba may be heading to finish off Thieves Town
Yeah,
and
he
possibly
died on
do
the-
Smith Chain.
Down in the overworld, like right before.
Yeah, he's a little better equipped now for it. Coxa, however, can check out the Mire area, so we'll find out the medallion for that, and may peek into Desert. And it's not going to check the Mire medallion; it's just going to go straight to Desert. Getting harassed a bit there by that Raven.
It's a little silly to do Desert first of all these checks, because Desert's like the one thing you're not sure if you can full clear. Where like there's no question
Yeah.
you can always get bold items in Mire Shed, right? But the boots, high boots, are required for Desert, and they might just be sitting in Mire Shed, which feels really bad if that happens to Coxa.
Yeah. We do have the small key available, so we'll be able to check the right side at least. Jack corrected me, it's a vulture in Desert, not a raven. Same thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Oh, Eddie. It was Ice Palace that was the pendant, apparently.
Okay. So, what was that on Mire? Was that Quake?
Quake. Mire is full clearable. Not for Coxla, but for Sailor Neff.
Alright, 21 rupees total in Mire Shed. Sailor Nap actually can do Spike Cave here. And just a heart piece. Nothing in Checkerboard Cave. How about Agina?
It's got to be something somewhere, right? So does Goomba actually have Mambos? I don't remember seeing that.
That was Sick Kid, I think.
Oh, right. So we can full clear ice too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys. Alright, I don't want to alarm anyone or inspire chat to say things that are mean, but Pets and Logic.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we only have 2 items that we're still searching for, the boots and that ice rod. We know the fire rod is on Lumberjack Ledge, so we need the boots to get that. But, yeah, if we find the ice rod and boots soon, this could be a quick go mode.
And if neither of those items are in or behind those Bowlock dungeons, it might be a long time before we see somebody go over to Sahasra's head to get that Cane of Samaria.
Goomba taking down Blind. So I don't think there was anything of value in Thieves' Town other than that crystal.
The sword.
Oh, the sword, right. Goomba, however, does have Pyramid Fairy available. So might go ahead and route that along with maybe doing Catfish and Zora. First gonna check the Smith chain. I'm doing hammer pegs first.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't go down and grab the Smith first. Maybe he's planning to skip the whole Smith chain.
Art container inside there. Goomba says, "Oh, I'll take it." Oh, there was blue mail in Thieves' Town as well.
Do you think he would have picked up that heart container if he hadn't died on the overworld earlier?
I don't know.
I think a Goomba has been like a really strong runner who would normally skip a heart container like that. But you die once in the overworld, it's like, well, it's gonna be that kind of seed, huh?
Yeah. Okay, by nothing useful in Thieves' Town, I meant no progression. There's useful things there, just nothing that opens up new locations.
Yeah, the truth is, at a certain point in execution, nice items like silvers and extra swords and half magic, you don't even they don't register to you as a player anymore.
Yeah, like that boomerang that Goomba just found on the Smiths. And we have Sailor Nep going into the swamp.
Swamp, definitely a reasonable play here. Very dense item location. We got access to it very early.
So Purple Chest having another one of our 300s. We found most of them so far.
A lot of money.
And Goomba is going straight to Pyramid Fairy, it looks like.
Frostware has taken an intentional death warp here at the basement of Hera. Unfortunately, he had a fairy in a bottle.
Yeah, I think he's going for the health refill.
Yeah, but he
does have the new. Just forgot about it. Blue Potion and Pyramid Fairy. And Frostware is heading towards Pod.
Yeah, this is kind of a big play right here. It's an important play that he does this, because this will lead him to that Cane of Samaria and Sahasrar's head. But it could also be a huge deficit of time if there's nothing in these bow-locked pendants.
Yeah. Especially when he does have access to full clear swamp right now. Goomba getting that tempered sword from Uncle. And is going to go ahead and full clear the front of Escape as well. A couple of junk items in the flooded room of Swamp. And Frostwares does get that Cane of Samar. And is deciding, you know what? I'm not going to bother with Pod. Looks like Coxla took a death in Thieves Town. I don't think that was intentional. Well, it definitely wasn't because it's going back in.
Certainly not an unreasonable play to head over to Meyer after you get the cane like that. It feels a little weird though because he was opting not to do Swamp, which is a much more dense crystal dungeon. But you know, people hate Swamp.
We see sailing up now on Argus with the Master Sword. And just 10 arrows, so the front and back of Swamp a bust. We haven't seen the left side. Wasn't counting, so I don't know how many items are there.
Gotta be something there.
Sailor Amp is going back in. Yeah, I find when you do Swamp and skip left side, it's like if you find something good, you tend to want to just leave. Whereas if you don't find anything, you kind of want to go back in and do the left side. I don't know if that's a good strategy. It's just what I tend to want to do.
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot better to leave if you found something else good in the dungeon. Unfortunately, it like the math doesn't really work out. Like finding something good in the dungeon does not change the odds that there's also something good on left side.
Yeah, for sure. But Sailor Amp did find the book in the big chest and is going to nope out and check the Bumble's tablet. Meanwhile, Goomba going to go for that Aga play. Knows it's required anyway and is in the area, so says why not do it now. And nothing on Bombos. Nep can head for Thieves Town next. Meanwhile, Frostware is actually going into Misery Mire.
Meyer does seem like a very likely place to have something, but it's still like 2 items.
Yeah. We haven't seen any of Pod or Eastern yet, so there's a pretty good chance of something being in there.
Definitely greater than 0.
Alright, time for Aga on Goomba's end. Koi, how many blue balls are we gonna get?
It's always 3. I don't think I've ever seen an Agapite where it wasn't 3. Pretty sure.
Never.
Not even once.
I'm gonna say this will be a really kind Aga fight. because the rest of the seed's going to be trolley. So I'm going to say 1.
Well, there's your 1.
Yeah. There's the Meyer big key in the spike chest. Coxa was being very careful. Was down to 4 hearts and had to
Frostbears.
burn 3 of them. What did I say? Did I say
You
frostbite?
said Coxla.
Oh. I meant frostwares.
Yeah, no, 3 hearts is like the optimal amount of health to lose in that room. Usually you don't do it the way he did, though. He just was making very sure it was only 3 hearts.
Yeah.
And Goomba is not interested in going up to Catfish. Okay.
Well, that is kind of unfortunate for him because he wants
Yeah,
that
like,
hook shot.
he got the flippers. Like, it's not even, like, just Catfish all by its lonesome. It's Catfish plus Waterfall Fairy, Zora Ledge, Zora. He can always continue that route really easily later, though. Killing Aga gave him that portal.
That's true. So there's a heart container in Meyer. Have we seen the other item?
I have no idea.
Well, either way, Frosters is going straight for Vitreous.
I don't think he even did, like, the cutscene chest.
Oh, chat saying we did have another heart container. So both items found in Meyer. So I think we're looking at Pod Eastern most likely for our next progression.
Or ice. Don't forget about ice.
Or ice, yeah. That'd be quite the call to go into ice before doing Eastern and Pod.
I mean, it's not like super crazy. Like ice doesn't really like take longer than pod or anything.
No,
it's
but
just
there's
less dense.
Yeah. So now taking out Blind now, as Frostwares enters the Vitreous fight. So he's got the Tempered Sword. He's going to start off with a few bombs, though. He's also got the bow and arrows. So getting hit there by the lightning bolt.
That's okay, though. Of all the things in this fight that do damage, the lightning bolt is the least offensive. Yeah, those eyes hurt.
He's down to 4 hearts now. You gotta be very careful. Takes a death. Does he have that fairy?
He is not.
No. Well, that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, yeah.
He's gonna go back in. Goomba now doing Hobo.
I don't want to be like crazy critical or anything because Goomba actually is just a really, really, really good player. But I have no idea how his routing works.
And now going to check Ice Frog Cave.
No, it's just like Ice Red Cave has been available and easily accessible with the flute the entire game, and Goomba's like been putting it off for forever. So why do it now, if not before? Like, what's changed?
I could not tell you.
He is going to the flipper checks now, which will finally get him his hook shot, which he's been missing for quite a while. Unfortunately, this completely orphans Catfish for him. He's really hoping he'd do these at the same time.
Yeah, I'm really confused why he didn't route this time with Catfish.
I don't believe we've seen Catfish yet at all from any runner.
And Coxon now checking height.
It's 47-minute hype cave when you had Hammer Darkhold access. I'm a fan. I like this.
Goomba also saying no to the bug net.
Alright,
Frosters.
Yeah, starting this refight.
Oh, that was close.
Wow. Oh my god. So I don't believe there actually is a safe place to stand from the lightning.
There is, actually.
There is where?
If you hug the right wall and go up into the slime actually doesn't hurt you. But you have to hug the right wall. If you come 1 pixel off that wall, the slime will touch you. But there is a safe space there.
So you have to take damage to get to that spot?
No, you don't. If you just hug the right wall and walk up into the slime, and it doesn't hurt you.
Oh, you just mean like line up on it, not hold it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a neat little trick, and you cannot be touched by the lightning, but you can be touched by the eyeballs.
Which are constantly swarming you.
Frostwares does get through that fight, though.
Yeah, that was pretty clutch.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like we're getting a ped check from Sailor Net. No, he's
Lost.
going
In the Lost Woods.
getting harassed here by a thief.
Now he got fooled. He thought that was the real Master Sword.
And it's 10 arrows. Alright, it looks like Nep is off to Meyer. As Goomba Coxla going through Swamp now.
To answer chat, it's not that they're allergic to EP and Pod. no runner yet has full cleared all the crystal dungeons that are available to them. And its typical routing is to do the crystal dungeons you can full clear before touching pendants if you can help it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing you often see, especially when in a wide open seed like this, where you get early, mitts and hammers. You got the runners doing all the different crystals, kind of in different orders sometimes, before you start to see those pendant tips.
Yeah, the idea is that the crystal dungeons, you're going there anyway, right? Like, it doesn't matter if there's progression there or not. You have to go to Swamp. You have to go to the back of Swamp. You have to kill Argus. So it makes sense to do that first, since you have to do it anyway. And if there's progression there, sweet.
And we are seeing Goomba go straight to the left side of Swamp.
It's antithetical, right? Like his routing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But,
Usually you see players, they either play like super aggressively and skip every single out of the way location they can for as long as they can, and only doing things that are just straight on the way are absolutely required. And then other runners, they do everything that they can as soon as they can, paying no mind to how inefficient it is at the moment. Goomba's doing both in seemingly arbitrary locations.
Yeah, I think it might be kind of like maybe he's sort of trying meta plays. Yeah. Maybe
he skips Ice Shroud Cave because everyone does Ice Shroud Cave, but he's doing Left Side Swamp because he knows people hate doing Left Side Swamp.
Yeah. So we'll see if this pays off for him.
I mean, his routing hasn't really hurt him or anything yet. Like, the worst thing that's happened is he did Hera Basement.
And just bombs on left side. I think the compass is here as well. Yeah. So left side Swamp a bust.
But now he knows.
Alright, sailing up using Sword Spin and the Slime Strat. This is definitely the fastest way to take care of Vitreous in this situation. It's also one of the most tricky ways, which is probably, if you haven't practiced it anyway, which is probably why we didn't see Frost Wars use that strat.
That's the NMG strat.
Yep.
It's not like super crazy difficult to do or anything, but like to a new runner, it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Because Vitreous does a ton of damage, so a strategy that involves you taking extra damage seems a little scary.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to practice a lot to get it down. But once you do have it down, Vitreous is not really that scary anymore.
Alright, we finally had a runner run out of Crystal Dungeons. Sailor Nap showing us the pendants.
Alright, so we got 5 items in Pod plus that green pendant. And there's 3 items in Eastern. That is a total of 9 items. See, I can do math.
Hold on, let me get my calculator. Yep, confirmed. It is 9 items. You can do math, Eddie. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Koi.
So this plating over to Pod and Eastern is not going to be nearly as easy for Goomba to make as it is for Sailor Nep. Because of how his routing worked out, he did not have the hook shot when he was up on Dark Death Mountain the first time, and thus does not have that bow. He may go there anyway, just because it's still dense, even if you don't have the bow. But, Ice Palace is also a possibility. Or maybe with the book, he just goes back to Dark Death Mountain and checks the Ether Tablet.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a ton of spots left, but an Ice Palace dive wouldn't be out of the question for him.
I think he'll probably do like Meyer before anything else, though, right?
Oh,
No,
that's
because
true.
he doesn't have Kane yet. Yeah, he may not. No, Meyer doesn't look nearly as good. I don't know. I have no idea what Goomba's going to do. I never do. He's probably going to go to where the progression is. Well, let's just put it that way.
He's going to Ice.
Nice! Alright.
Alright, so we are seeing some pendant dives now. Which one's going to pay off?
It's going to be
I'd
both,
say Eastern Pod, but what?
There's going to be the boots in one and the ice rod in the other.
Coxa up to Dark Death Mountain now will find that bow with the hook shot.
And Coxla uniquely is going to be the first runner up here with that book.
And I believe Frostro has just flooded the key.
Oh, did he?
He looks like it. He does not have a small key, so that
he
is...
totally did.
Or... No, wait, never mind. He's good, because he already did the back.
Oh.
Never mind, I'm
Oh,
right.
you're confusing me. So confused me. Yeah, Google was the only one to do the website first, I think.
Alright, Sailor Nap now into the back of Pod. This is where all the items are. So, I believe that's 3 items already in Pod, none of which are useful. Goomba setting up for that bomb jump. There's another heart container in Pod.
Well, that's where the hearts are.
And a piece of heart, so that's all 5 items in Pod. We still have that green pendant. And Nap is gonna go for it.
Really? I don't know, I'd do Eastern first. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough call. I mean, it takes like almost 3 minutes to do this for 1 item.
I mean, I'd probably end up doing like both anyway. It's just like I feel like I'd want to do Eastern first. It's like, what if it's boots and ice rod in Eastern?
Yeah, it could be. There's our first item in ice as a piece of heart. I think that was the first item.
Yeah, it was. It was a big key in the first chest. Coxla, unfortunately, going to be doing this. Oh, no, he does have the cane. Oh, it's just not marked.
Well, we are now past the 1 hour mark, so your prediction of a sub-hour seed is
Rip.
out the window. Cocks are getting a nice fairy. Those sword beams make this room so much easier. Ooh, there's a mushroom. Nice.
Fun. Okay, there's nothing you want to see less when you do a pendant dungeon dip than a fetch quest.
Alright, so Sailor Nip gets that green pendant. Now, having done this, do you go turn in that green pendant before you dive at Eastern? Or do you just dive Eastern and full clear the whole thing?
I think you just dive Eastern. I don't know, like, I guess if it was the boots on green pendant, then that opens up quite a bit because now you get Fire Rod. But it doesn't open up anything like super nice, you know, one item in Skull Lids, Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod.
Alright, Goomba turning in that mushroom immediately.
I assume we found all 3 items in Ice.
Yeah, he didn't fight Cold Stare. And there's the Ice Rod. Wow.
So Goomba with a distinct advantage here. The Ice Rod is the more trolly of the 2 items to get last. He's still missing those that Canis Samaria, but he's about to get it real quick, going over to Eastern Pod without the bow. So the real danger for Goomba is if the bow hard locks the boots, like if it's on Green Pendant or Armos.
Yeah. Nothing in the Eastern Big Chest.
Oh, the cane was enough for Goomba to leave. Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, it's not crazy. Like, oh, Crystal Dungeon, I can full clear now, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Not going to pay off for him, unfortunately. But like, going through the Dark World as if you're going to Pod, and then stopping partway through, it makes you really not want to go back.
Yeah.
Of course, this might also just lead to him finding the bow first and then going to Eastern and Pod.
So, Eastern and Pod, basically a bust unless that green pendant's got something for us.
Still enough going to show us the green pendant right now.
It's nothing.
Wow.
Alright, so let's try to figure out where those boots can be. We haven't seen the Ether Tablet. We haven't seen Catfish. I don't think anyone's done Graveyard Ledge. And there's also the front of Turtle Rock.
True.
So not a lot of places we haven't seen.
No, I feel like almost everyone's going to end up full clearing Pod and Eastern before doing all of those checks.
Yeah, but this is really good for Goomba. Potentially, depending on...
Yeah, if he doesn't go back. I definitely see Goomba like going up the mountain to do Hookshot Cave, and
yeah,
before going to like Graveyard Ledge or Catfish. And if that happens and he finds the bow, then suddenly going back to Eastern Pod looks really good.
Yeah, so, but, you know, the boots could be on that Ether Tablet. They could be in the front of Turtle Rock. We're getting a Graveyard Ledge check here from Nep, and Coxla taking a death to Vitreous. Does have a fairy. Okay, good.
I believe only one of our runners doesn't know about the fire rod on Lumberjack. I can't remember who it was.
I think it's Sailor Nap. And Sailor Nap not gonna go check Catfish. Going to Ice Palace instead.
This is fine. Like, he needs to do this, right?
Yeah, this is the right call, but I feel like you would check Catfish at that point. And by you, I mean the person in general, not you specifically. I don't know how you would rep that.
Oh, I would have checked Catfish like an hour ago. I would have done the flipper mirror checks, you know? Like Catfish and then mirror and do like Zora.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I see that as a possibility, I'm like, ooh, pretty! And go do that.
Coxla finally getting that Bombos medallion off of Sick Kid. When you got the flute, you generally don't want to put off Sick Kid for very long because it's such a quick check with the flute. So Goomba, having gone straight to Vitreous, is headed back into Mire for that last item.
Gonna be disappointed.
And Coxla looks like he's making that Aga dive.
Gotta do it eventually.
Frostways taking out Blind. So all our runners now on for crystals. Well, we got a bit of a lull in new checks. I do want to take a moment to shout out to our trackers Red Aramir and Semper Fire Dog. They're doing a great job today. Give them some love.
Alright, so following his Mire clear, Goomba is headed back up the mountain. I believe he does have the book. It's not marked on the tracker. So this will be a new check, Ether Tablet. Could be the boots. Could be 20 rupees. Could be silver arrows. Who knows?
Alright, I got to be right back in just a couple of minutes.
I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I miss him already. Help me, chat. And I'm not calling you out. I'm just letting you know, Red. Come on. All right, Ether Tablet. Da, 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 da. Not helpful. All right, we are down to Catfish and Front of TR for potential boots locations. So the bad thing here is Goomba, who was unable to do Hookshot Kit before, is going to do it now and find that bow. Bo is nice, like you're supposed to have that for GT and everything, but it's probably going to lead him away from those other checks. Like he may not even go into TR, is how nice this Bo seems.
All right, I'm back.
Ether Tablet was nothing. You missed it.
All right. Oh, we're getting that catfish check from Frost.
Finally.
Just a hard container.
All right, so that only leaves front of TR for this boot location. And Goomba is going Hookshot Cave first. It would be a little gambly to leave after finding this bow, but it does feel like it's probably an Eastern and Pod if you're in Goomba's position.
Yeah, I think, like, since Goomba's already checked a lot of stuff, I think you kind of have to go into Turtle Rock here, and he is going to do
He's
it.
going back. Okay, that's really good for Goomba. He's probably going to get to skip Eastern and Pod now.
Alright, so Sailor Nap done with Ice Palace. Gonna turn in that mushroom for the Ice Rod. And we'll just be looking for the boots. And he doesn't know, I think he's the only one who hasn't checked. There's the boots right there in the front of Turtle Rock.
That is go mode for Goomba.
And that is really bad for Sailor Nap because they haven't checked. That's the exact situation I was talking about. If Goomba hadn't checked Lumberjack, he probably would be diving deeper into TR. I mean, maybe not. Maybe if you just get your progression in the first chest, you might opt to just nope out.
Well, he couldn't get farther without the Fire Rod.
That's true.
So, like, well, what would normally happen, like, if he hadn't done this check already? It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go do the boots checks now. And then, oh, look, the Fire Rod's on Lumberjack, and then you go do Echo 1.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking more if it had been the Ice Rod on Lumberjack, then you'd be diving deeper. But
yeah, very, very different. So I don't think like the Aga check mattered much in this particular seed, but yeah, you're right. It definitely can matter.
So Goomba can now do Desert and Skull Woods and Turtle Rock. So still has a bit of a ways to go, but they're all, well, Desert and Skull Woods are pretty quick, and Turtle Rock's kind of a longer dungeon, but at least you'll be right next to GT afterwards.
It's kind of interesting how this played out. Like the reason Goomba is getting to skip Eastern and Pod is because he didn't get the hook shot before going to Dark Death Mountain. So because his Dark Death Mountain was less efficient than everyone else's, he skipped out on that early bow, which completely devalued going to Eastern and Pod for him.
Yeah. Rando just works like that sometimes.
Yeah, so he effectively trades like a mountain climb for 2 pendant dungeons.
Yeah, and one thing I find really interesting, Sailor Nap opted to full clear Pod, did Helmasaur for a single item, and yet skipped Catfish.
People be tripping. I don't know. It's hard for me to really get in the minds of somebody who skips things like that, because I tend to play a much more full clear. You know, I just do everything. People, But like other people, like sometimes it seems so arbitrary. Like I'm gonna skip this check, but not this check.
Yeah, like it has to be some kind of a meta game type of thing. Which I'm also like, I don't play metagame very much. I tend to just try to make what I think are good plays. There is Desert Down for Goomba. So there's crystal number 5.
I think it's important to really note though that it's not like Sailor Nep did the wrong thing. You know, it's not, he didn't route
Yeah.
poorly. It's just the way the items lined up with the way he routed was not as good as the way Goomba's routing lined up. They were both perfectly legitimate ways to route the game. But Rando, gonna Rando.
Alright, so Sailor Nep now going to check her basement. Frostware is doing the egg climb. And Cox, unfortunately, heading into Pod and Eastern, which makes a lot of sense, but just not the right play right now. Alright, Goomba now heading up to face the Moth. Coxa opting for Eastern first over Pod.
I guess the true Galaxy Brain route in this seed would have been to do like the early Sahasrara play, which you see sometimes. Like just walking over to Sahasrara before you can go into Kakariko or something, and just having that cane on your first time on the mountain, and you would have been able to get into Pot and get into Turtle Rock then, and get the boots for like much earlier in the game.
Yeah, of course you also had to have Bombos from the Sick Kid, which Sailor Nep did not have. Yeah, we didn't exactly have an early ball. I don't remember where the first one was, but by the way, like, Sailor Nep did come up here with the cane, just didn't have that Bombos medallion.
I think it was available early enough that it was possible to find. Because I think Goomba did have all 3 medallions. It just feels bad. This is a feels bad kind of seed for Sailor Nep. And then it's like a really feels good seed for Goomba, right? Like, oh my god, I can't believe I got to skip Eastern and Pod. This is awesome.
Yeah.
No, Ice Palace was required. The mushroom in there led to the Ice Rod.
Alright, Goomba now heading into Turtle Rock for the second and final time. And Sailor Nep finally starting those boot checks. So we'll be in go mode as soon as they see the fire rod on Lumberjack Ledge.
Yeah, this right here is the main difference between having checked it early and waiting until you have the boots. Sailor Nep's going to do 2 extra checks. That's it. That's the only difference. Unless he skips checking Lumberjack, but Don't do that. Oh my god. Okay, you scared me. You scared me, Sailor Nub. I thought he was gonna flute away. I was so scared.
Alright, that is go mode for Sailor Nep. Froster is making the Ice Palace dive now.
Yeah, it's really good. It would be very, very unfortunate to find the boost before the ice rod.
And why is Sailor Nep coming down here? Muscle memory.
I'm confused.
Yeah, this has been kind of a longer-ish seed. Easy to let muscle memory kick in. You know, when you're normally you really like to hit go mode before the 1 hour mark. So when it's 120 and you're hitting go mode, you kind of start to get a little bit tired.
I don't know why Goomba tried to hover for a second. Just for fun, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's recently joined the ranks of the hoverers, so it becomes a little tempting to try to do one every time you get a chance. Our Goomba down the laser bridge is going to have to check for a key here. Luckily he has that nice mirror shield, which nobody hates having.
Don't even have to try.
Hey, powder.
Well, maybe try a little harder than that, Goomba.
That's the key in the last chest.
Always.
And Goomba on to Trinex. A very solid fight from Goomba. And with that, he's got 7 crystals, so it's that time again. Throw some numbers in chat. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be. So just guess any number from 1 to 22. Koi, what's your guess?
1.
That's my guess.
Well, it's too late. I took it.
All right, I'll go with 7. It's not my usual guess, but maybe it'll work out.
See, now I want 7.
I'll trade you.
No, I can't do that. It's against the rules.
Oh. Well, either way, given we're now into GT with a pretty massive lead against all our other runners. Gonna go to left side first. Sorry, Koi, but number 1 is a small key. Sailor Nep picking up that fire rod, the final item they need to complete the seed. Koopa, please.
Just hook shot.
Just trying to save a menu. Bunch of small keys on the left side. So next 2 checks will be 6 and 7. Six is that single arrow. 7, red rupee, and no small key on the right side. So this could be one of those seeds where this Dark Magician's strategy pays off.
So Coxla actually walked out of Spike Cave, but is mirroring. Okay, yeah, that didn't make any sense. It would have been faster just to save and quit and then mirror again if we've already killed that guy. I was thinking he might be headed like back up the mountain and just wanted to stay in the Dark World, but like that would have been like disastrous for him to get the boots before the Ice Rod.
Yeah. So no key on the right side. So our next check will be the Fire Snake room number 12. Or is it Fire Bar room? I always mix those 2 up.
Double fire bar.
Yeah. Frostfur is actually fighting Cold Stare. I guess he hasn't checked Ped, so it's just grabbing that pendant just in case. Goomba, meanwhile, heading on to Grander Room. Oh, Fire Snake Room first. Gets a heart container.
Prosper is going to check Ped now after killing Cold Stare. Feels bad, man. I think the big key might be in this room, you guys. Oh my god, it was!
It is.
How did I know? Amazing.
I think that was number 15, if I'm correct, or 16. Oh, 16. Alright, who guessed 16?
I did, I'm pretty sure.
No, you didn't.
I did. You asked me, what do you think it is, Coy? And I said 16. You're like, oh, I wanted 16. I said, no, I already guessed it, sorry.
Koi,
I remember this happening. I'm pretty sure it happened.
stop rewriting history, Koi. Alright, Rixis guessed 16, as well as Regs for you. And think that's it. So congrats to the two of you. You win our, I don't know, something. Alright, so while I was looking at the chat for the numbers, Goomba's already halfway through the gauntlet. Sailor Nap fighting a landmo, not getting that one cycle, unfortunately. Or the 2 cycle. Here's the ice rod for Frostwares. And unfortunately, gonna be heading into Pod Eastern now.
Yeah, just like when you compare the 9 items from those 2 pendant dungeons to potentially 1 or 2 on Dark Mountain, like Ether Tablet plus maybe the front of Turtle Rock, it's not really a choice. Like,
Yeah.
doing anything other than Eastern Pod in this situation is crazy.
Alright, Goomba up to the top of the tower, just about. Face Moldorm. Let's see if he tries a hover here.
What? You're not even get okay, Goomba. This is like the one place where hovering's actually faster than the normal strat.
Unless you fall.
Well, yeah, then it's like super slow. I just a little consistency. That's all I want from you, Goomba. If you're gonna try and hover to the TR big chest, you should hover Moldorm too. Come on.
I mean, he consistently wins. Is that good enough?
I mean, yeah.
Alright, on to Aga 2. Not having the best Aga 2. A few hookshot dings of frustration. There's a triple to end it off. So as Goomba heads towards Ganon, Sailor Nap about halfway through Turtle Rock, Coxla heading into Ice Palace, and Frostwares going through Pod. So Temper Sword Silverless won't be the quickest fight, but I'm sure Goomba won't have much trouble with this. Got some nice dash strats in there. Very nice 1-on-1. Arrows in the Dark World.
I think it's actually bugged.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably talking about the bow in Hookshot Cave.
I think the only places we haven't seen for where the summers could be is other locations in GT and Mimic Cave.
Yeah. And that's it. Get your GGs in chat for Goomba. And Goomba finishes first on the restream and first place overall with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 45 seconds. A very good time on a kind of trolly seed. So we'll see if Goomba wants to come in and have an interview. So, we're already joined by Goomba. GG's.
GG.
Is it not enough that you're just really good at the game? Do you also have to be really lucky?
Okay. Alright. So let me talk through that decision-making process.
Go for it. Go for it.
Alright. So I cleared Swamp Palace, right? It was complete garbage. I did left side for one item. I felt really bad. I knew Pod and Eastern had been open for I don't even know how long, so I knew if people had gone there and the boots were there, I was boned. Because the boots were obviously the central piece I was missing with that fire rod. And so, I instead decided, hey, I have a Bombos medallion. You know what that means, right? The boots are gonna be an ice palace. So I just went for it. Worked out a little bit better than I had anticipated.
Yeah, it was a really nice pickup getting the ice rod before the boots.
I think the main thing that saved you, though, was going up to Dark Death Mountain without the hook shot, so you never got that bow, so you're never tempted into Eastern and Pod,
That
which
as well.
everyone else full cleared. So
Not having the bow definitely
made
me less inclined to go there, because I was assuming at that point that the bows were just like deep in Turtle Rock and or GT and completely unnecessary. With how much I had cleared and how little I had left open.
Yeah, no one's found the other bow. It's probably, we're guessing it must be in GT. Or,
Probably.
I don't know.
Mimic Cave is the only other option.
Maybe Mimic Cave, yeah, because I think we've seen pretty well everything else.
Yeah.
So we actually found out about the hookshot like really early. One of the runners did a fake flipper to see it.
Yeah, I felt really good about that hookshot being specifically there.
So when you were up on the mountain, you were like the only one doing Dark Death Mountain without the hookshot already. Like, oh man, if something's in Hookshot Cave, Goomba is like boned because it really sucks to go up there just for Hookshot Cave. And then it ends up like saving the day. Because then you end up being like the only person, or like well, at least the very first person up there with the ability to walk inside Turtle Rock.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if I had the bow, I definitely would have gone to Pod over Ice Palace. But I felt like the Bombos was pointing me to Ice Palace, because you know how this game is. Like, if you get a Bombos, the fire rod's always in or locked behind Ice Palace. So I assumed the boots would just be in there.
Yeah, Sailor Nap actually had gone up to Dark Death Mountain really early, and did not have the Bombos medallion, so couldn't dip Turtle Rock. So ended up basically full clearing the game before going back there.
Again?
I was on Sick Kid.
Right. Yeah, I remember I had all 3 medallions like really early. I think,
Yeah, I think
Ether was in Lost Woods, and then Old Man had Quake or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely got absurdly lucky in that one.
Yeah.
And probably
I mean, I'm
did not deserve to win.
not to take anything away from you, because you are a really fantastic runner. Like just every seat I watch you play, you're super on point in all execution, and your routing is typically like it makes sense to you, I'm sure. Although sometimes I have a hard time wrapping my head around it.
I know some of my routing decisions are a little bit unorthodox. I
mean, it works. It works for you though. So I really don't want to take anything away from you, but you got super lucky in this seat, man.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. Like, I was going into Ice Palace, again, 2 reasons. One, I felt behind and didn't want to go to pod because that was the obvious play. And 2, again, I suspected the boots were in there because of the Bombas Medallion. What I did not expect was the Ice Rod, which is just disgusting.
So a play I was expecting you to make at one point. So like when you were doing Pyramid, Aga, and all that, and then the Pyramid Fairy, I thought you would go north and do Catfish and then mirror and do the flipper checks and get your hook shot then. But you opted not to do that. But I'm just thinking, like, how much different would this seed have been for you had you done that and gotten the hook shot right then?
I thought about doing that, but the reason I didn't actually was because I didn't have the hook shot. Because if I had the hook shot, I could have also hook shotted over and checked Graveyard Ledge on my way to Catfish.
Alright, sure.
So that's why I held off on that. Because, like, if I wanted to check Catfish later at any point, I could just say and quit to the Pyramid whenever.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I made some perhaps questionable routing choices and got hilariously rewarded for them.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, your execution was very solid all run as well, so...
Yeah,
you know,
I felt pretty
that.
good about that one, except for the whole walking into that stupid bow in Village.
Oh, yeah. Forgot
That
about
was
that.
impressive.
I think
I mean-
everyone on stream took at least one unintentional death at some point.
In a way, that kind of worked out, because I didn't want to take the hack portal without mitts again, so I just went to the mountain instead and got the mitts, which let me clean up the Smith chain when I did Thieves Town. Admittedly, Smith chain was useless, but I didn't have to come back for it, so...
Yeah.
And I probably would have come back for it at some point with how stupid the seed was.
It wasn't useless, you got that blue boomerang.
That's true, that one was kind of helpful. Saved me some time in Aga Tower and GT.
Yeah, meanwhile, we just had our second place finisher, Shiba Hayes, come in with a 143, so you won by more than 6 minutes. That's quite a solid.
Hey, that's how much that's how much time it takes to do pod.
I mean, when I saw the ice shot, I knew I won. Like, I knew I was, like, there was no way I wasn't winning.
With where Ice Rod was, it is very, very easy to route this to be Ice Rod Go mode.
And then with the boots being where they were too, like, I was just like, okay, yep, I win, GG.
Then why didn't you hover Moldarm too?
Did you see my hover attempts earlier in the scene?
I saw you try to hover to the TR big chest, and I'm like, why would you do that? That's slower than just using the cave.
Because it's funny.
But then you don't do it for Moldarm 2, where it would actually be faster.
But if I fail, which I was going to, I lose like 15 seconds.
But you're so far ahead. You said you knew you won. Come on, Goober.
Yeah, sure.
A little consistency, man. That's all I want.
Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'll try harder next time. Yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty good about my execution, and I'm not sure I would make the same routing decisions again, but I mean, they worked, so eh.
A win is a win is a win is a win. Thankfully, everybody on the restream managed to avoid the Ice Rod Go mode. Everybody happened to find the Ice Rod before going up to TR.
I'm kind of surprised, honestly. I figured a lot of people would have had Ice Rod Go mode in this one.
Yeah, if that was the case, you might have been triple dipping TR,
Yeah,
which
although
is never fun.
I suppose, like, I thought about checking, what's it called, Zaha's Closet earlier, like, basically super early. I tend to do that often with the flute, but I, well, didn't, obviously. But if you do that, and you have the cane and the bomb bows the first time you're up on the mountain, you could get your boots, like, super early.
Yeah. Yeah, Sailor Nep did half of that. Got the cane first, but just didn't have that bombos.
Yeah, I feel like the danger with that though is that you almost definitely end up going to Laser Bridge without the ice rod.
Yeah, probably.
Because like,
if you
because now you have the fire rod,
boots,
right?
if
Like,
you
why
have
would
the
you go to
boots
ice balance?
before, if you have the boots before the ice rod, you're almost certainly doing Turtle Rock before you go to Ice Palace. It's kind of scary though, right? Because if you killed Aghanim, you can't keep a mirror portal at Laser Bridge, so you're basically just committing to a full double dip with Turtle Rock at that point.
Yeah, too bad it's not fast, Ganon.
I don't know. I like doing GT.
I mean, you can save the mirror portal.
I mean, yeah. I don't know, like, I lost my train of thought, sorry. I don't know,
Yeah,
I don't think there's much more to say. Like,
was a
I
long
executed decently well, I would say. I routed, and I got very lucky.
Yeah, your Ganon fight was really good. It was pretty much perfect, I would say.
I mean, you didn't like route anything like super crazy. It's not like you did like completely insane checks or anything.
I mean, I don't know. Going to Pendant Ice Palace over Pod and Eastern,
No,
probably a little bit crazy.
I like that personally, like especially since you didn't have the bow. Like for everyone else, it was a no question play. Like you obviously go to Pod and Eastern, you have the bow. But for you, it was more of a toss-up, and I thought that Ice Palace looked better, like you were saying, because you had bombos but no fire rod.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say like your routing, I would say, was more inconsistent from my point of view. Like you did left side swamp for one item, and you did Hera basement for one item, but you don't go to Catfish, but you put off Ice Rod Cave like the whole seed. So like it seems so arbitrary to me. Like how do you choose which ones to skip and which ones to gamble for?
I mean, I don't know, honestly. Like, I don't know how my mind works sometimes. Like, I just kind of, I don't know. Like, I tend to change my routing style a couple times during the seed, depending on how I'm feeling, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, the swamp play, I figured, okay, I got the map already, so there's at least one item on left side. My options right now are really, really bad, so I'm most likely coming back in for left side swamp anyway, so let's just do it first. I probably wouldn't have if I did the back first and knew there was only one item back there, but I don't know, that was the risk I took. And Hera Basement was just me not wanting to go back up the mountain.
Yeah.
Like, the reason I did Hera Basement, like, normally, in that kind of situation, I would do the east side of the mountain first, and then think about going back to Hera Basement afterwards. But I decided to do Hera Basement first before going over to the east side because I didn't have the mitts. Just in case the mitts were in there, so I could do the whole east side in one go. Because I was running kind of low on spots at that point.
I got to butt in for a second because Sailor Nep has just finished off Ganon. Very nice fight there as well. And came in 4th place overall with a 150.05. Just barely missing that sub 150. And Sailor Nep already in the booth with us. GG's.
Thanks. That could have gone worse, I guess.
Yeah, when you get fourth place with a 150, you know it's been a pretty bad seed for most of the runners.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling that. I guess my
So-
biggest regret that was that I did not have bombos when I first climbed up the mountain. Because
Yeah.
if I had, I was going to go to TR, and that would have been big for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about that, but that routing also ends up with you likely double dipping Turtle Rock, right? Or triple dipping, I guess, because like, you know,
Yeah,
now it's
probably.
Ice Rod might just be in Turtle Rock. Like, why would I go to Ice Palace? You know?
Yeah, I don't think I would have gone to Ice Palace in that case.
Yeah, my go mode was boots, which definitely worked out in my favor pretty heavily.
My go mode was learning where the fire rod was.
I knew about
Yeah.
that 30 seconds in.
See, I'm not in the habit of checking up there if I don't have the boots. And sometimes that burns you.
It wasn't
I-
impactful this save.
I
Like,
just
you
go
should-
up there.
2 extra locations.
I just go up there because I want the tree pulls and the bush crabs and all that at the beginning to try to get some resources. So checking that is just kind of incidental at that point.
Yeah. But really one of the biggest differences, as I was talking to Goomba, so Goomba ended up going up Dark Death Mountain without the hook shot, so never got that bow. Well, got it eventually, but not before leaving the mountain. And so Eastern and Pod just never were attractive options for Goomba. And in fact, he never even touched Eastern and Pod.
Yep. Never set foot in either one somehow.
Yeah, that'll definitely make up a lot of that difference there.
Yep. I was going there, but then I got the Canis and Maria, and I was just like, nah, let's go do Misery Mire instead. That seems better.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense.
And then at that point, like after that, I thought about going back to Pod and Eastern, but I still didn't have a bow. And like at that point, I had put them off for so long that I kind of decided to just say screw it and go up the mountain. And I got my boots, and that was that.
Yeah, I definitely feel that because it is definitely a thing that if you put off an obvious play for forever, then it feels really bad to think about going back. That's actually part of why I never went to Skullwoods before I was in go mode. It was off my mind forever, and it was like it's too late to go back now.
Yeah, Skullwoods is definitely a spot I tend to skip pretty frequently. The reason I checked it in this seed was because I knew where the fire rod was, and I really wanted boots. So I figured I didn't want to get burned by boots in Skullwoods.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is your routing is completely arbitrary and has no rhyme or reason.
Yes,
Just checking.
exactly. I don't know. I definitely make a lot of very on-the-fly decisions with my routing. That
Yeah, no,
sometimes work
like
and
I
sometimes
see
don't.
that a lot. Like you, there's a reason you're doing the thing you're doing. It's just a reason that you came up with right when you were doing it.
Yeah, like it's not uncommon where I just like pull out my flute, and as I'm fluting, I'm like, okay, where am I fluting to? What am I doing?
Gotta go somewhere. Oh, I guess I fluted to Meyer. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and this is the reason I'm doing Meyer. Sure.
Okay, maybe not quite like that, but my routing is definitely a bit sporadic at times.
Alright, so while we were talking, looks like both our runners are in go mode. I don't know if Frostware's picked up the fire rod yet, but he does have the boots, he does have Aga defeated, so he can just go grab that on his way to Skull Woods. Meanwhile, Coxla on his second to last crystal in Desert. So both runners kind of on their way. And yeah, Frostware's going to pick up that fire rod right now. So I don't know, don't have too many more questions for you guys. Did you have any other thoughts you wanted to say?
Not really. I mean, I think I've said it already. I got hilariously lucky, and that's really all there is to it.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. On the other end, for me, the routing choices I had made sense for the way I played it. Hindsight, maybe would do things different if I knew where the stuff was, but it didn't. So I'm okay with the way it went.
Oh, yeah, we were saying that earlier. Like, no one routed this wrong. Nobody made like mistakes in their routing that they could have corrected if they had been paying more attention. It wasn't like that. It was just the seed just lined up better for Goomba. Like that's all it really came down to.
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly just me not getting that bow.
Yeah. That was a big thing. I'm
Um,
curious. Do you know the mimic clip?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you didn't even care about the bow.
Not really, no. I mean, it was faster, but I would have been equipped if I didn't find one. Or find one. Words, English, hard.
All right. So we have a few more finishers to read off. Sailor Nep, as we said, came in 4th place. We had Chizame in 3rd with 147. In 5th place was Nielsen Alex with a 151. And then in 6th place, Blaine with a 156. Humbug in 7th with a 157. And Hitsuyan in 8th with a 157, finishing just 6 seconds after Humbug, so getting sniped there.
Ow. Those snipes never feel good.
So, while we are watching the last 2 runners, I'd like to remind everyone, Speed Gaming Live, starting tomorrow. That is a speedrunning marathon. We got quite a bit of stuff going on. We do have a link to the past randomizer tournament, which I believe has a $3,000 prize pool. So that'll be really exciting. There's a couple other, I think there's a Zelda 1 randomizer and there's something else, I forgot which. But there's a few different tournaments happening. And it's going to be streamed, I think it's going to be streamed 24/7.
Yeah,
I could be wrong on that.
I believe that this does mean that there will not be daily races tomorrow or the open weekly being restreamed on Sunday. I don't know if those races will happen anyway. They just definitely won't be restreamed on Speed Gaming channels in favor of the SG Live content.
Yeah.
I'm sure the community will put together something, even if there's no official speed gaming races.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to SG Live. I'll probably watch a few matches. I think it should be pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be checking those out, definitely. I think I'm gonna hop on out of here now, though. So, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and
GG.
GG's.
Tracking all that stuff. It's always a pleasure to play some rando for your entertainment. Also for my entertainment, but that's beside the point, isn't it? So yeah, thank you again, and
Is it more fun
see
when
you
you
around.
win all the time? Do you think?
Have a good one. Alright, so with that, we do have another finisher, Illis24, finishing in 9th with a 158.39. And I believe that's going to be the last of our sub 2 runners. So only 9 players out of probably about 20 or so able to sub 2 the seed. So definitely a tougher one. But we are nearing the end of things. Coxla about halfway through Turtle Rock. Frostway is just heading to Turtle Rock. So they just got to do this and then get through GT.
Yeah, Goomba's route through the game was just so. It was just on the outside of the normal way to route. Like I'm sure, like for most people, they ran into one of two situations. They either didn't get the boots their first time on Dark Death Mountain, but got the bow, and thus ended up full clearing Eastern Pod. Or they did get the boots and ended up triple dipping Turtle Rock looking for that ice rod, which was just sitting in Ice Palace, and still full cleared Eastern Pod.
Yeah. Yeah, like it would have been kind of weird to go into Ice Palace before going into Turtle Rock if you have the fire rod already. So, looking on the speed gaming schedule, we do have a Pokemon Red Blue tournament coming up in about half an hour. I think our runners should be able to finish by then, so I don't think it's too concerning.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Meanwhile, we did have Plasma Kappa coming in, rounding out our top 10 with a 2:01:49.
Just don't die. Cox are going for some hook shot clipping to get past that firebar. Save a heart.
Yep. And gonna take that safety door, so probably starting from the bottom, so get that key right away. Oops.
I wonder how that compares time-wise.
Not a big deal to take a death there. I guess you get your health partially refilled anyway. And Cox are not too concerned about Silver Arrows, not going to check the rest of the laser bridge. That pokey is annoying. Alright, Coxla into Trinex now. Oh, gotta be careful here, taking a couple hits. And oof. Frostware's having a little bit of trouble with the crystal roll room here. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying this is what Frostwares needs to have happen. Cox would have just died at Trinex a couple times, and we can have a race on our hands.
Although, it doesn't help when you take the wrong path in the maze there. Alright, round 2 of Trinex going quite a bit better so far. And Gustronics down. Alright, so on to GT for Cox. As Frostware's heading to Trinex now.
Pretty unlikely we'll see any new checks here, though. With that big key in random room, like the only way you see ice armos is if you go like full right, which nobody does full right.
Yeah. Very rarely, anyway.
Sometimes I do it just because it's silly.
And Frostwares gets Trinex down.
Okay. What?
Delayed Dark Magician? Is that what you
Yeah,
call
it's like
this?
I don't. This isn't a real route.
Yeah, if you want to do this route, just do Dark Magician.
I don't know. Maybe he goes all the way to ice armos now.
Maybe. So Frostwares might actually take the lead here if he goes full left.
The Dark Magician route is to go to Stalfos Room first, also known as Dark Magician's Room because of the route. And you do that first because you always get one small key at least from that pot. And then you take that small key back to the right side where you go to Compass Room and then on to Ice Armos. If you mirror after Compass Room, then it's Pink Magician. This route that Cox was doing does not have a name. He did Pink Magician just like backwards.
Yeah, Frostwares doing... I don't know if this route has a name. I just call it the traditional route. So you go right. If you get a small
We call
key...
this the Hope route.
Hope route, okay. Yeah, if you get a small key, you continue on to the Compass Room. If not, you just go full left. So... Runner's now neck and neck.
It's kind of funny how it worked out.
Yeah. Alright, both runners reaching rando room at almost the same time. So, yeah, just gonna be execution pretty much that determines who's gonna take third place here on the restream, at least. Coxla taking the top route to try to avoid as much damage as possible since he's on quite low health. There's a refill room here after the cannonball room where you can get some fairies if you need to.
Yeah, Coxa taking the safe door actually means that he does not have the powder like Frostverse does.
Oh yeah. Wonder if that'll make a difference.
Frostverse is going to take the safety room anyway. Okay.
Yeah, Froster's just gonna bombos his way through Gauntlet, it looks like. Not the fastest way, but it's certainly the easiest and safest.
I love stuff like this. Like, you know, I like as you like play the game more and you like learn things and watch like really good players do stuff, you start to abandon strats like this, like bomb boosting. But when you're first learning the game, these rooms are really hard.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it's like you don't just start, like most people anyway, don't just start with the absolute fastest way and force themselves to grind out these rooms with slash strats and the bow and everything. Like you start with the things that save the largest amount of time, and you just use safer strats for these rooms.
Yeah, that's a good point, for sure. And like, using bombos there isn't that much slower, so it's kind of one of the more, you know, when you're trying to shave like seconds off your run, obviously you want to have those rooms down, but if you're still at the point where you're trying to shave minutes off your run, you know, it's not those kind of strats are not a high priority. Yeah.
I can definitely remember a time where I bombos every single room in GT.
Cox are taking a lot of damage here on Limo 2. I'm a little concerned here.
I'm not sure if he has a potion or anything to fall back on. Without that powder, it means he's not going to have... Oh!
Okay, it does have a fairy.
Oh, okay.
See, like, when I was still at this level, I would always, before heading to GT, I would just always flute to the potion shop and get as many blue potions as I can. And that way, you can just spam magic. You can take all kinds of hits, and you're fine. I even still do that sometimes because, I mean, honestly, it doesn't take that long to go buy potion. When you have the flute, anyway.
Yeah, the real hard truth of the matter is Link to the Past is a hard game. There's no two ways around it. It is true. This is a difficult game. Nobody starts out just being really good at the game. Everybody has to start somewhere, has to learn the strats one at a time.
Yeah.
And that's the really cool thing with the dailies, right? Like anybody can participate.
Yeah, for sure. Frosters did just find something that'll be pretty helpful in whatchamacallit room.
Silvers?
Helmasaur room. Red mail.
Oh, red mail, okay.
Ooh, Froster's taking a Moldorm fall.
Darn you, Caterpie! I'm a little concerned for Coxla.
Oh, here's a blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're fine. So again, Froster's a little bit ahead of Coxla, but not that much. They are both going to be looking at a silverless Ganon, so we'll see. It'll basically be execution on that fight that determines who's going to come away with that third place. Alright, both runners on. I get to now. Alright, Frostwire's dropping into the Ganon 2 fight now. Did I say Ganon 2?
You did say Ganon 2?
I meant Ganon. I was confusing it with Agatu. Alright, Frostwire's on red mail. Coxa also having gotten that red mail. Frostwire's taking a lot of damage in the first couple phases. On to phase 3 though. Alright, Frostwire's on to phase 4. Wants to get that torch glitch, he does. Get 2 hits in.
Frost does have a fairy.
Okay. So he's mainly just got to watch out for not getting knocked off that pit. Oh,
think-
takes a hit there.
I think Coxla is out of safeties. Yeah, he confirms, checking his bottles right there.
Crossways doing pretty well here on phase 4. I think he's at about 5 or 6 hits. And Coxla on phase 3, almost to phase 4 now. Oh, Frostware's taking a hit. But yeah, he does have that fairy. Ooh, takes another hit there. The worst part about taking the hit, besides the damage, is that it's very easy to get knocked off into the hole. But Frostwares gets through the fight. Get your GGs in chat. As Frostbite, or Frostwares, finishes in 15th place with a time of 2:22:45. Coxla, meanwhile, accidentally gets a stun hit there on Ganon. That's not what you want in a silver list.
I think it was a panic swing. Like Ganon was like warping right by his face. Sometimes you just hit B out of fear.
And there's Ganon down for Coxla.
Nice job.
Yeah, finishing on 1 heart and a half. With, I think, no backups. So a bit of a tense fight there, but gets through. And finishes in 16th place with a time of 2:23:49. And we are joined by Frostwares. GG's.
Hello, hello.
So that was a bit of a rough seed.
Oh, you have no idea.
Well, I was watching the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's one thing to see it all unfold, particularly on a few different runners, and it's something else entirely to have Boots be the very last place it could possibly be.
Yeah.
Like the fact Boots were my go mode item was just insane.
Yeah, I think everyone on stream had Boots Go mode.
Oh, I mean that's good to know, I guess.
Well, it was better than having Ice Rod Go mode. Because you were
It was
probably
very close.
you were probably triple dipping Turtle Rock if you had Ice Rod Go mode.
Oh god, yeah. Oof.
But yeah, long seed, but it's over. GG's on finishing.
Thank you. I got 15th. I'm happy with that. For how rough that start was, that was, I'd say, a pretty strong finish.
Yeah, it was definitely not the easiest of starts. It kind of was pushing you right into the Dark World right away with not a whole lot of safeties.
I think I had a 10-minute Dark World there, and I had a death in Mini Moldworm Cave.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and, instead of trying to go back to it, I was like, you know what? I'm just leaving. I got more things to do.
Yeah.
So,
Looks like we also have Coxla in the waiting room, so Oh, there he is. GG's Coxla.
Thank you.
GG's.
GG Frostwayers too. And all runners.
So yeah, we did have a pretty close race between you two at the end there. So that was exciting.
Good. I'm glad we could entertain.
Yes.
So what did you think of that whole seed, Coxla?
I was happy with it, but except at the end with those boots, of course.
Yeah. Definitely rough placements. Ice rod and boots.
Yes, but Ice Rod, I was lucky to do Ice Palace before finding boots because that would have been terrible too. If
Yeah. Luckily, everyone on stream got that ice rod first. Otherwise, yeah, you might have been triple dipping Turtle Rock, as I was saying.
yes, yes, if I found boots, I would have get my fire rod and then go back in Turtle Rock to not find my ice rod.
Yeah.
And then the problem would have been ice rod.
Anyway, we do have another show. I believe it's a Pokemon Red Blue tournament coming up here in a few minutes, so we do have to clear out. We do apologize for the tech issues at the start, but
No problem.
there's a bit of a delay.
It happens.
Oh, we weren't supposed to mention that.
Oh, right, sorry.
You ruined the YouTube video. Wow, anyway.
I'm fired, I guess.
Hi, YouTube.
But anyway, GG's to the both of you. Thanks for putting on a great show. I do want to shout out to our trackers one last time. Semper Firedog and Red Aramir sticking with us through this trolley seed. And of course, GG's to the runners. And thank you to my co-commentator, Koi. Always a pleasure.
Hi.
Just hi. But yeah, if you want to stick around for that Pokemon show that's coming up in about 10 minutes, stay tuned. If not, have a great day, everyone. Koi, do you have any final thoughts?
I just want to say how happy I am to see you guys, specifically Coxla and Frostwares. It is always fantastic to see new names running these dailies. I don't think I have had the pleasure of calming your restreams before, if you've even done one before. And I want to say you guys are a lot closer to being as good as I am than I am as being as good as Goomba. So like keep playing. You guys are gonna get better every single seed.
I think Goomba just got real lucky.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes. Was impressive to see 1 year.
Out of curiosity, can I submit this as 100% NMG time?
I don't think so. All right, but thanks everybody for sticking with us, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thank you.